I don't know about you guys, but I am like so frustrated with what's been going on with Manon. Let's talk about it, guys. Okay, so if you haven't heard, Hybe and Geffen officially announced that Manon is going on a temporary hiatus. Now, this is supposedly for her health and her well-being. After they released that, why did Manon then go on to Weverse and give a whole statement basically saying that her health was okay and she was good and she was fine, and that like basically telling everyone not to stress out? But then the message is a little cryptic in a way, because it's basically making us wonder why exactly she went on a hiatus if it wasn't for her health. It was kind of like she was telling us to read between the lines, like this is not something that I actually want. And I feel like that's where it started to go downhill when people start to pick that up. It's crazy because with all this happening and this becoming like a whole crazy scandal, we're seeing some people's true colors. Because why are her other members' parents basically attacking her and trying to come for her? How do you think that this is going to be good for the group? At the end of the day, Manon deserves better. And today I just want to talk about her mistreatment and how black women in general are treated in this industry. First of all, let's talk about this whole lazy term that people always use when they're talking about Manon, because I feel like that is like the core of the hate that she gets. It's people thinking that she isn't putting in as much work as everyone else. And this has been a narrative that's been running ever since Popstar Academy. The narrative has always been that Manon is not committed. Manon is not trying as hard as everyone else. And in a recent interview, Manon basically clocked this, and she was saying that being called lazy, especially as a black girl, is just not fair. Because we all know how it is for black girls and how black women have always had to work 10 times harder to be in the same positions as their counterparts. And if you think about it, Manon is Swiss. They don't have the same, should I say, priorities, the same drive as a lot of like Americans would. Their culture is like mostly like, rest when you're tired, recuperate, when you're sick, you rest. They don't just like power through like we do, basically. People have to take into account that the way she was raised is different. Her culture is different. And that doesn't make her lazy. I mean, to be honest, that's how it should be. Just because she doesn't like conform to this like crazy power through until you drop kind of mentality that's like enforced in like K-pop industry, doesn't mean that she doesn't work hard, doesn't mean that she doesn't want to be there, doesn't mean that she's not committed. And it's so annoying because the discourse online has always been that she's lazy and that she doesn't work as hard. But like, why should people work to the point where they're like dying? And it's not like she's the only one that's taken a break. That's the other thing. It's not like she's the only one that has taken a break. No one takes into account the fact that we've seen Megan missing. We've seen Lara missing. We've seen some of the other girls have been missing for performances, for music videos, for all sorts of things. But everyone focuses on Manon. And it's like, why? It's so clear that she's being targeted because of her race. And there's like such a clear double standard of the grace that some of the members get. Because at the end of the day, she's sick. Like, I see online the most discourse when somebody's sick. They're like, oh my God, where's, for example, Megan? Like, oh my God, where's Megan? Is she sick? I feel so bad. Like, I hope she's okay, all this kind of stuff. But when Manon is missing, they're like, yeah, of course she's missing. Of course she's not here. It's like, why is that your first thought? Like, why aren't you concerned that maybe something actually is wrong with her? Concerned that she's probably like in the hospital? Why is the first reaction to be annoyed that she's not there instead of worrying about her well-being? It's so clear that as the only black member, people are going extra hard on her, and it's not fair. And honestly, her message on Weverse is making me like question Hybe and Geffen. Like, is she being punished because she's probably like the only one willing to be like, okay, I need a break, I need a rest, I need to recuperate, and now she's being punished for that? Because what is the whole point of this hiatus? What is the reason? Like, I honestly just don't understand it from any aspect, because this is not going to help their brand. Why are you cutting off like a whole section of your fan base? Like, is there racism like such to a big magnitude that they don't care that this will affect their fan base? Let's talk about Danny's dad, because what was that? What are you doing? Why are you a grown man in your 40s or 50s arguing online with preteens and teenagers about your daughter's girl group? Like, what are you doing? Get a job. Like, I'm actually so shocked. How does he think that doing this in any way is helping his daughter? You guys have seen the screenshots, and if not, I'm gonna put it up for you. He's been making comments. He's been saying that the show must go on with or without a member, and saying that Cat's Eye is bigger than one member. This is like so incredibly unprofessional. The fact that the members aren't saying anything, Daddy's not saying anything, like the label's not saying anything, it's just making it worse. It's like them basically saying that this behavior is okay. This is not helping his daughter in any way. In fact, it drove more hate to Danny, because where did he get these ideas from? He's not in the practice room. He's not with them on tour. He's not with them in their dressing room. So where did he get this information? Where did he get this notion from? Where did he get this stance from? It has to be from Danny. So it's actually kind of crazy, because it's like making me wonder, first of all, what is going on between Danny and Manon? And it's also making me wonder, is that all the members are thinking this way? Is it just Danny? Is there some beef between them two? You guys need to let me know what you think in the comments, because I'm generally just like shocked. When a parent feels empowered like enough to bring down or speak negatively about the only Black member of their group, it shows that so much more has to be going on behind the scenes there, because this has to be coming from somewhere. There's no way he just pulled this out from his butt. And it's like not a good look, because now it's like creating this kind of 5 versus 1 type of dynamic. It's Manon against everyone else. And of course, that's going to drive people to now want to support her even harder, because why is she being left out? Why is she being treated like this? Why is she being casted to the side? Simone Ombel made a post basically saying that the situation with Manon is just another Black girl being subjected to racism and label mistreatment. And Manon actually liked that post. So if we were questioning if anything was going wrong before, I mean, I feel like we have our answer just from that. I was so glad to finally have this group with a Black member who was treated well, despite the whole lazy thing on some fans of the group hating on her. I felt like from what we saw, like within the group, she was loved and she had friends. So to see this now it's heartbreaking. The timing of this is kind of like the most suspicious part, right? Cat's Eye just performed at the Grammys. They have Lollapalooza, South America coming up. They have Coachella coming up this April. This year was supposed to be amazing. This was supposed to be the peak of their career. You know what I'm saying? But then there's the Paris Fashion Week, which we have seen that Manon was supposed to be a part of. There were pictures flying around of her on billboards that she would be in attendance, but not with the whole group, just herself. Now, Manon gives model. She gives high fashion. Of course, she wants to be part of Paris Fashion Week. The only thing is that it would be a solo opportunity, which would we be surprised if the label has an issue with that? They obviously want them to be doing stuff as a unit. But to be honest, we have seen like some of the other members do things on their own. Like Lara was in a music video by herself. I'm pretty sure Megan was also in a music video or some project by herself. There was another photo shoot that Manon just did by herself. And I feel like that doesn't really like ruin anything for the group. Like I feel like it just solidifies and like individualizes them, like showing them as individuals and showing them doing stuff that is in their interest alone isn't always bad. I feel like that just in the long run strengthened the group. We're seeing their personalities. We're seeing what they're into. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I feel like when Manon was invited to Paris Fashion Week, they were mad. They were mad not only because it was something she was asked to do alone, but they're mad because obviously they have this other performances. People are speculating that maybe it was a kind of you have to choose kind of thing where they asked her, are you going to do Paris Fashion Week or are you going to do Coachella, Lollapalooza? Which one are you going to do? Which one are you going to choose? And I feel like she probably chose Paris Fashion Week, and that's why she was forced to go on this hiatus. It's crazy because it's kind of giving, like, they're trying to, like, I don't know, like, they want all her beauty, all her aesthetic, all her visual for themselves. Like, they want that to be for the group and only for that group. So any solo kind of thing that she's going to do, like they're almost mad because they're kind of like, no, we don't want her to succeed on a solo level. We don't want to see her solo career do good. We want her in this group, and we wanted to see her do good as part of the group. If they can't force her to do what they want, and which is to be part of Coachella and Lollapalooza, they'd rather just cast her to the side and keep her away. And because it's to show control, to show that they can punish her, to show that they can take all of this away from her just like that. It's a power move. And for them to do that in the public is kind of crazy, and also shows like they really don't care. I think they're trying to show her that like maybe she's replaceable, that she really isn't bigger than the program, to put her down, basically. It's all about control. While this is all going on, this major, massive scandal, what do Hybe do? They announce Prelude. I don't know if that was on purpose. Maybe they thought that they could soften the blow of Manon's hiatus with this announcement of Prelude, because I mean, a lot of people were waiting for them to come out. We're excited to see them. You're basically in a massive scandal concerning your most popular member of your current group, Cat's Eye, and your response to that is to launch Cat's Eye 2.0. It just further backs up my point that they want to show Manon, they want to show these girls that they are disposable. If you won't like get in line and do what we say, we have other people, we have another group that we can just push forward. We don't need you. We can push another group with another black girl and replace you just like that. I feel like this really just backfired for Hybe and Geffen, because instead of showing Manon that she's disposable and that they could replace her, get rid of her anytime they wanted, they kind of just proved that she was the it girl. She is the it girl. She is the most popular and most cared about member of Cat's Eye, because look at all the people who are behind her. Look at all the companies have spoken out about her. All the publications have been brought out about her. We have SZA, we have Chloe Bigley, and so many others. We had, I'm pretty sure, the Grammys. We had Vogue. Like, all of these people standing behind her, showing that we care about Manon. We're not going to let her just be kicked to the curb. And she's loved. She's cared about. It would be great if Black women could just like literally exist without being labeled as either aggressive or, in this case, lazy. Like, why can't Manon just be without being literally attacked by fans, being attacked by her members' family, attacked by her own label? Like, it's crazy to see this mistreatment, and to call it anything other than racism would be silly, because what else is driving this? I just really hope that Manon is able to go forward and like protect her peace and, you know, thrive, whether that means like not being a part of Cat's Eye and having her own solo career, or them reconciling and figuring this out. Honestly, I don't think from this response that she's gonna be removed from the group. I think, if anything, they're literally gonna have to beg her for her to stay in the group. And yeah, with this response, they know that getting rid of Manon is not the way to go. So I feel like they're basically gonna have to convince her to continue with them. But honestly, I don't really feel like she would need convincing. Like, I do feel like she does love being part of this group, and she does love her members. I feel a certain type of way for them not speaking up, but I know it's probably because they're not allowed to, and because they don't want to be on the outs. So I'm trying to be optimistic, but it would have been nice to see some camaraderie, or at least, for example, Danny to say something, since it was her dad that was literally insulting Manon. Actually, he did just release a statement apologizing for his comments. It started off saying that he was apologizing to Manon, but like the whole apology was really just to the fans, showing that he just cares about not getting hate, not that he actually respects Manon, not that he actually wants to say sorry to Manon. And it's like, even if they continue now, what is that dynamic going to be? What's the dynamic going to be between Manon and Danny? Are they going to be cool? Are they going to be able to be in the same rooms with her like family? Like, it's such a weird thing to do. Like, I just wish he would have thought before doing that. And I really hope that from now on they talk to the parents about what exactly they write online, because that was ridiculous and silly and childish from a parent. And I'm not gonna lie, I can't really say I'm surprised, because at the end of the day, Dani did grow up in America. Dani is pretty much white. She's a white Latina. Her dad's white. Why am I not surprised? He's the only one that spoke up. He's the only one that is basically insulting Manon and being kind of racist, honestly. And obviously, we can't even talk about this without talking about the fact that this is not the first time that a Black member of a group has been mistreated. We've seen this with Leanne. We've seen this with Normani. It always seems that the Black member is the most hated member, is the most criticized member, is the most mistreated member, cast aside member. And it's getting tired. I was really hoping with this group that it would be different, but it's clear that it isn't. And I'm just like wondering, when are things going to change? With Leanne in Little Mix, she was basically the invisible member. When anyone ever asked, what is your favorite member? It was never Leanne. She was cast aside. She spoke about this in an interview about how she felt like she was the least favorite member, how she was basically like cropped out of images, and how she felt like she had to basically work 10 times harder to be appreciated as much as her other member. When Leanne actually spoke about the racism that she felt that she was being subjected to, she was told that she was imagining it, and she was labeled as being difficult. And I feel like that is so close to how Manon is being treated. I feel like Manon is now being treated like maybe she's difficult. Then we have Normani from Fifth Harmony, who was subjected to racism and mistreatment from the fan base of the group, which is really close to what Manon is going through, where the fan base of the group is attacking her. And all through that, her other members and the label stayed silent. And when she wanted to do her own thing, they were quiet when she was labeled as lazy or uncooperative. It's the exact same thing we are seeing over and over again. These labels, they love the idea, the aesthetic of having a Black woman in their group. They love that they can use them in terms of their culture, in terms of their look, their style, the fact that it's cool and that it makes the group seem more diverse. But the minute that they speak up and address the mistreatment that they're receiving, they get rid of her. She's a diva. She's lazy. She's being subjected to the same label icing out that we've seen in the past. But the difference is now that we've seen the past, we've seen it happen before, we're not going to let it happen. We're not going to let it slide. And I am so incredibly happy to see everyone standing behind Manon, everyone supporting her, everyone checking in on her. It's so incredibly lovely to see all the support that she's getting. And I hope that like I said, I hope she continues to do great. I hope that she continues to thrive in any capacity, in anything that she decides to do. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys agree, or if you guys want to add anything on, if you guys want to argue some of my points, you can do that in the comments down below, and I'd be happy to reply. See you next time. Peace.